A very good morning to you all. Before I even get started, please can we show some appreciation to these guys? Yeah. I came of age in the early 90s, and that song by Collective Soul I very much enjoy, and don't apologize for the feedback. That's how it's supposed to be performed, with some squeal there. So well done. And a challenging drum fill, I recognize. Well done, well done. Very good morning to you. My name is Joshua. This is the second time I am standing here as your Sunday speaker. However, it is the first time that I've been here and be able to speak. I woke up in the morning, it was in April, last time I visited. I was driving up from Cleveland that morning and nothing. And I thought, well, I better still go. And, you know, I think part of the job of a speaker when they come to visit is not just to share what we have to share, but is also to reflect your community back to you. And I just want to share that the support that I was met with, because I sent an email from a gas station halfway between here and Cleveland saying, I'm coming, but the thing is, and Jim wrote back and said, we've got this, it's all good. And these guys helped me out so much, and these guys helped me out so much. And it just showed me what this community is. So thank you. So I'm going to speak to you on the subject of seek first the kingdom of heaven, and that comes, as I understand, as part of a series you're all doing about finding your medicine. I don't know if that's still the case. Is that still the case? Okay, good. I'm on track. Ministry is a funny thing to do because it is basically telling you all about what you already know, what you already have, and what you already are. It's like telling you about breathing in a funny way. But that is the gig, and I look forward to a time when ministry is no longer required. If you see what I mean with that. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. You would be forgiven if you were thinking right now, come on, dude. We know this. We know that I preferred you when you couldn't talk. But the thing is, these passages from the Bible, and we just had one, the quote from the words from Daniel. Jim, are you able to get that up again, please? The daily word, it's not super important. I'm just making a point here. Do not fear, greatly beloved, you are safe, okay? There is so much to unpack in those words, and we're so inclined not to do that. And that's the Bible, and that's because of how busy we are and so much. I'm good, thank you. Seek first the kingdom of heaven. And so I want to explore I want to explore those words and that passage because it's so underexplored and because there is so much there and because it's so relevant for these times. You know, we're 3 years out of pandemic, depending on how you count that, 20-ish years after 9/11. There's no person or bodies of people coming to get us. It's all invisible, it's all intangible. And it's all happening in here as well. If we don't start looking for what we want, then we're going to be influenced by something else. It's really that simple. I'm also coming from a place where just observing that there seems to be a natural disaster every day. And I don't know if that's how it always was, or just because of social media we know about it. But every single day I feel there is something that happens. And people say, I'm praying for the people, I'm praying for support, and then now someone else says, we don't need prayers, we need money, and we need food. It's almost like this idea that prayer is now limpid or weak or something like that, or ineffectual. And I think a blend of the two is what is needed. I don't think prayer is weak. But these sure are uncertain and reactive times. And if ever we should be looking for our own presence and looking to galvanize that, it's now and going forwards. So, you've all heard the quote. What's the actual quote? It's Matthew 6:33. But seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all these things will be added to you. Which made me think there was something before that. So I went before that, because that's the only way I can understand these things. Matthew 6:31 is where I feel this little area begins. But, excuse me, ask not, what shall I eat? Or what shall I drink? Or wherewithal shall I be clothed? That's Matthew 6:31. I have 3 kids. That sounds like them in the morning. What's for breakfast? Same thing as yesterday. Where are my shoes? You're wearing them. What we're being called to there is not to lean into materiality. 1. And 2, I think more the point is not to worry about these things not being there. No one's asking, what am I going to eat? We're really asking, am I going to be able to eat in a month's time? Is what I need going to be there? That's the core of that. And I don't diminish that. Don't diminish that. Matthew 6:32. For that is the way of the Gentiles. For the Lord God knows all that you need. Now, if it is ever a word that has been translated badly through the years, it's the word Gentiles. I don't like the word. It doesn't work for me. But I do like making up my own words or my own translations. And so I offer you a different explanation of that word to mean not a person, not a religion, not a creed or anything like that. No, a state of being where we are unfocused, where we are intentionless, where we are purposeless. And we're all going to be like that several times a day. I woke up feeling like that, actually. Because when we're in that state of mind, we can get led, we can get off track, we can get distracted. And so to me, Matthew 6:33 is saying, don't be in an unfocused, confused state of mind. Bring yourself back to center. And all that you need will be there. So what is seeking? Well, seeking is a process, isn't it? I'm standing in front of you with rolled up sleeves. It's not a style thing, but I wanted to show you the labyrinth I have on my arm here. It's an important symbol to me because you cannot get lost in a labyrinth. You can get lost in a maze. That's the point of it. To get lost and find your way out. It's a different exercise. A labyrinth teaches you that just to keep going. It's one path and you cannot get lost. You can trip over. You can get bored. You can get cold or hot. I was at Unity Village recently. Got hot. Like 106 degrees there. You all can't complain about the heat. No. You can get hot, but you can't get lost. You'll find your way in and you'll find your way out. Effortless. You just have to keep going. The crux, I think, of this quote is seek ye first. Seek ye first. So I look at that and I think, well, what if we don't? It's a piece of advice that we're supposed to take. So what if we don't take it? What if we don't? Well, there's other kingdoms we're going to find, isn't there? We'll find the kingdom of gossip, the kingdom of lies, the kingdom of reacting to stuff on social media, the kingdom of boredom, and so on and so on. There's plenty of other things there for us, and so much other influence. I did touch on that earlier on. And I thought about, well, how to explore this. You know, we've got the model of the 7 deadly sins, okay? Rage and pride and gluttony, the big stuff. Anyone remember that movie, 7? Maybe I shouldn't have gone there in church, sorry. But I don't think that's actually I don't actually think that's the problem. That's not actually where we should be looking. Because no one starts off as rageful or prideful. No, it starts as insecurity. It starts as doubt. It starts as self-question. That's where it gets off track. And as it is said, drops fill up the bathtub. And then you realize you have a problem. So we shouldn't wait until we have a problem. We will wait until we have a problem. That's what we do. But we shouldn't. And it's that process that keeps you all coming to church, right? So why are we not seeking? Why are we not seeking? Well, we're human, okay? So let's just look at this. Let's accept it. Let's get real for a minute. We like the familiar. We're very used to the familiar. We can resolve all sorts of things in our lives. The trouble is we will have had decades or so of familiarity of what got us to that place in the first place. If any of you can join me for the workshop I'm doing after this, once I do a pretty intensive clearing, I'm going to do a recalibration because we know what we know and we don't know what we don't know. And we're all leaning ourselves into a greater version of ourselves with the hope that it's there, the promise that it's there, that is there, but we don't know it as well as we know the things that have gotten screwed up for ourselves. We know those things. We know disappointment. And we're so ready to arm and protect ourselves against it. This is what being human is like. And then also, it's all intangible. I can't show you any of this. I can't show you your thoughts and emotions. I can't have a bottle down here. I can't show you a bottle of happiness, a bottle of misery. I can't show you any of these things, but I'm sure they're tremendously real to you. And the solutions and the activity and the effort, the focus, that's all intangible as well. As I said, these things begin quietly, as a voice of doubt, a voice of concern. When they get to a stage that it's a problem, well, that's now in the physical realm. We were looking at this candle, this precarious candle right here. What would make this candle not be properly placed? It would be lack of focus. But if it tipped over, started a fire, well, that would have our focus now, wouldn't it? It's all right, it's not going to get to that point. Not going to get to that point. What, then, helps us to seek? Because to seek is a process which we hope will make us find something. What helps us do that? Well, let's look at this word awareness. It's usually not the good things that we need to be aware of. It's usually the less good things like discomfort, because that is the signal to us that something needs to course correct. And I actually find this a very positive thing. I believe discomfort is the doorway to everything that we could possibly need, because how else would we know? This divine presence in us that knows all that we need, all that we will do, it's telling us, and it will tell us when we're doing something we shouldn't be doing. And I'll extend that to procrastination. Come on, it's not just me. Anyone else in here procrastinate? Thank you for waving. I was on this side. I got lost with rowing my boat. I crossed the line. No, but you know what procrastination is like, don't you? And then at some point you catch yourself doing it and think, why was I doing that? An hour and 15 minutes later. I can tell you why, actually. Because I look at these things in a metaphysical way. As he was just saying, procrastination is a body of energy, as it were, that is preparing to come through you but hasn't yet. And so you have the pre-awareness in that point that, oh, there's something I do need to do. I really do need to do it, but it's going to take me longer than I want. It's going to require more of me than I feel like doing. And so I'm going to now put energy into pretending that's not happening. And that is procrastination. But if we have to be aware of that and cut an hour and 15 minutes down to 15 minutes, well, you've just gained an hour of life and nothing else has really changed. That's a good thing, I would say. Then there's a small matter as well of wanting to. There's a great teacher a few decades ago called Hilda Charlton. If any of you were familiar with her, she was a student of Sai Baba, that's it, Sai Baba. Anyway, she would talk about wanting God, the difference between wanting God and wanting to want God. And her students, she'd call them kids. She'd call them all her kids. She'd go, come on, kids. Do you want God or do you want to want God? Very simple question. I put most of us in the second category. The first, from time to time. We want to want something. But when you think about the things you actually do really want, you're very focused with that. Very focused. Gosh, imagine if you were applying that to the invisible, intangible part of yourself, your presence and so on. An element of this is about practicing the pause. We are a very reactive, I don't know, what do you call us, species? Humans, we're very reactive. We're playing the hot potato game. Hot potato or criticism gets thrown at us, the inclination is to fling it back. Don't throw a hot potato at me, have it back. And what's the person going to do? Oh, thank you for the hot potato. No, fling it back even harder. Fighting is a tremendously inefficient way to live, but we're used to it. And so therefore, if we think about, well, what is the kingdom of heaven? What is that? I mean, that's the easier part of this. And it can be so many things. It's not a place, but for me, if it were a place, it would be a Mexican restaurant in Kansas City called Jose Pepe's. When I die, I had better go there. And there'll be a plate of shrimp quesadilla waiting for me and a big glass of Chardonnay. And I'll think, I'm glad I had my life, and now I'm here for eternity. But it's not a physical place. Obviously, it's a place within us. It's a space within us. It's a state of being. You take the letters O-M, and you add them onto any word. It conveys a state of being. Now, last year, about this time of year, I actually became a citizen. Lived here for a long time, but actually became a citizen. So I did the whole life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness dance. I did quite well, just bragging there, did quite well. Studied for it and everything. I did well. And this word freedom keeps coming up. This implied idea that we are free in this country. And that's true, and it isn't true. We're not free to do what we want. Of course we're not. We're free. The invitation is to be and express our most and truest. And even the concept of freedom of speech is an interesting one. I can say what I want for the next 7 or 8 minutes. As soon as I come down off here, I'll be accountable and responsible for it. I'll know very, very soon how free I was to say what I wanted to say. And so should it be. Our kingdom of heaven is our best version of ourselves. It's the present moment. It's the space where all things are even. Marianne Williamson would talk about meditation, which I'm not, by the way. Does she talk about meditation? She likes to meditate first thing in the morning. She says, if I meditate in the morning, it doesn't guarantee that I will be the best version of myself, but it does guarantee that I will not be the worst. Yeah. When we seek first, we are allowing something greater to come through us. There's a lovely song by Toby Mac a few years ago, Way Beyond Me. He had a really good album about 10 years ago. And it's the invitation. Whatever it is I'm doing, make it far greater and better than whatever I could think I could do myself. Because it will be. It's Sunday. It's Sunday morning still. I haven't gone on that long. So what's probably going to happen in your lives the rest of the day? It's Sunday. You'll go to Lowe's or IKEA or Home Depot or something like that. How many people do you think you're going to run into today? If you go out to lunch or something like that, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that you'll look in their eyes, smile, wave, have a brief interaction with. Is that fair to say 6, 7, 8 people? So you, as of this moment, between now and going to bed, will have influence over, let's split the difference, 6 people, 8 people, screw it, whatever, 8 people. Let's amp it up a bit. 8 people. They will see 8 people too. So you now have 8 times 8 influence, 64. And there's more than 8 people in this room, so that number's just gone up. We're at around 1,000 or 2,000 right now. No pressure. And that's every day. That's every day. Well, you don't go to IKEA every day, I hope not. Good hot dogs, I'm told. Anyway, but that's the gig. That's the gig of being a spirit in human body. Never mind standing on a nice pretty stage to do it. No. That's every day. That's every day, and that number's usually higher as well for us all. Seek first something, because it's going to go out to 60 to 1,000 people, whether you like it or not. And I hope you do like it. I really do hope you like it. What you can convey and express and bring out of you from your influence, even without a word. Have you had someone smile at you before, and they were the first person that smiled at you that day, that touched you deeply? And just to think, you're that person. You're that person that can course correct someone else's life. I think that matters, and I hope you do as well. So I'm going to bring this to conclusion now, because I don't want it to be the afternoon yet. Seek first the kingdom of heaven. We're talking about the divine interruption, aren't we? That makes us pause, that stops the autopilot and brings it to a higher version of itself. When do you start? Do you start at the start of the day? Whatever. Start now. Or don't. Go to the bathroom first. Start then. Start anytime. 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 Matthew 6:34, which is the next sentence, says, "Worry not, for tomorrow will take care of itself." Tomorrow takes care of itself because you took care of it today. It's a bit of a trick there. Seek first the tomorrow you want to have today, and then you will have it.